Peace, everybody. This Poet Deep back again with Best Foot Forward. And this right here is more so about how we assess our own behaviors, how we look at what's normal and abnormal. How do we make those type of criteria? How honest are we with ourselves about our behavior? Because sometimes being in a society with a lot of these distractions and doing a lot of moving around, a lot of us are in go mode a lot. We're in go mode. And we're in go mode to the extent that we are not processing our interactions with other people. We're not thoroughly processing our thoughts. We're not processing a lot of our behaviors, a lot of the nuances and things like that. It's just a lot of gray matter that we're not paying attention to. Some people pay attention to it, but most people it's very hard, especially if you have a demanding life, whether that's something you've created for yourself. I mean, everything that we do is really created for ourselves, even if we feel like well, I can't stop doing this, I can't stop doing that. But the way in which how we engage our lives, how we spend our time, there are certain necessities. If we have children, we have to take care of our children. We have to earn money. We have to eat. However, what we can do is change how we go about those different things, and that can be a very intense process for some of us, depending on what our current situations are. But I want us to really look at on a deeper level is how often do we stop ourselves to think about how we actually behave and questioning why we do what we do. And I think that's very important because that will allow us to start bringing more tools to the table to develop ourselves. Um, like me, sometimes I might be I might have a knee jerk reaction to something, and just because it's a knee jerk reaction, it was quick. The layers behind me behaving in that knee jerk reactionary way could actually imply that there's something actually deeper going on. So sometimes, certain things that are going on within us, it might it might shoot out quick, but it might be a long storyline to that. And I think in his lifetime, it's good to study history. I love reading history. I think reading is essential. I think it's important. It develops a lot of aspects of your brain, especially if you execute what you're reading and things like that. I think it's good to study, as much as possible. But your number one study, or our number one study, should always be ourselves. We should always be looking to master ourselves and having knowledge about why we do what we do and being on the hunt. Whereas when we're finding new things about ourselves, when we're encountering different situations and things like that, we start to look at how we're hardwired, you know because so much of of how we think, how we operate, it has been fed for so many years, since childhood, especially if it's never been challenged thoroughly. Some of us have never really been challenged on a deeper level of thinking or introspection. Some of us have never really been challenged to do that. And due to the fact that some of us have never been challenged to do that as children, in a loving way, we grow up not knowing how to take critique about those things as adults. So we can tend to believe that people are just trying to get at us, or they're negative and things like that. And I think that emotional maturity has to come about at a certain point for us to truly develop ourselves. But I think that we should really work on being very critical about why we behave the way that we behave, and stopping ourselves sometimes in the midst of commotion or a lot of things going on, and just start putting on our thinking hats like, why did I respond that way? Yeah, I know this person said something that rubbed me the wrong way, and they was wrong for what they said, but why did it affect me the way that it did? These are the type of things that I do a lot, in my daily life. I was fortunate to grow up with people who provided a certain critique around introspection. So it has been something that has been with me for a long time. And it has put me on the path to continue to discover a lot of things about myself. And some things, I haven't always wanted to, admit, because, my ego has gotten involved at different stages of my life. And I've had to identify with certain things about myself that, will bring that ego down, bring me back closer to the ground, centered where I need to be. So I think that we should all try to work on having a good grasp on who we are, because if you really don't know who you are, if you don't know what moves you and things like that, you're always accessible uh, for someone else to control you, for other means outside of yourself. Because um, in order to be able to control self, you got to be able to know self. And it's a continuous journey. So I would just hope that we take more time into really deeply looking into ourselves, even the things that we don't like. And some of us need help with those things. And that's fine. It's okay. I've been to therapy. And in the future, I could be going back. Anyway, this is I Am Poet Deep. IamPoetDeep.com is my website. This is Poet Deep. Rabbit Hole coming soon. Check me out. Peace.